An area I've always been interested in, and I've never made a video about this because I see it more with specific other addictions, but it doesn't have to lead to other addictions. Some people just have this type of addiction and they manage it with activity or other things, but it is actually called chaos addiction. And when you have chaos addiction, basically, it sounds exactly like what you'd expect. People oftentimes talk of peace and serenity, and this is totally unfamiliar to these individuals. They have never had that. What leads to chaos addiction? Many times these people come from trauma incidents, from chaotic families, from families where they were switching parents, foster parents, shuffled around as a child with different people. And sometimes when someone has this addiction, they can actually come off or be portrayed as someone who has their stuff together. Like, wow, even in the face of crisis, this person remains stable. That's because this person's overall functioning is done in a chaotic manner. They like chaos. They thrive in it. What they don't like is, let's say you took a family vacation and they just had to be calm. They just had to go and appreciate nature and beauty or journaling. That these people would not be able to do that because they constantly need some chaos in their life. They thrive on it. So how do you know if maybe a sibling or you yourself or a potential partner has this, like you're dating? Well, they have an incessant desire for drama. They like stirring things up. Most of these people don't have lifelong friends, or if they do, those lifelong friends have learned about this person and they take them in small doses. They usually live far away from them. They don't encourage them to be like their best buddies unless they have it too, or they come from a very traumatic-based family. They have a total avoidance of calm. They don't thrive in calm. It makes them depressed. It makes them severely anxious. They don't like it. They always need some problem in their life. And I say that knowing that many of you will go, well, I have problems, but I don't necessarily need it. I want you to look into that because many people have an inkling to create problems. And then they get excited about the fallout, about the consequences, and they try to pull other people in to help them. But in real truth, they are the main creators of their own drama. Even if it looks like they're suffering it, they'd rather have the drama in an unstable environment or relationship. So if you're in a relationship with them and you feel like you're going up and down, of course you are. This is all part of their chaotic addiction, okay? So basically, why do people go through this? They have past traumas of some kind: incest, sexual trauma, physical trauma, seeing a parent beat up, or they have constant self-doubts for whatever reason. Their parent was verbally abusive, telling them they were a knucklehead or no good or stupid. And so they grew up always having doubts in themselves. And this personality usually has a very low self-esteem, which is why they need the drama. The drama kind of helps them focus on something else, and oftentimes they'll make themselves the hero in the drama that they have created, or at least, if not the hero, the victim of it. And what does it do, like social and circumstantial evidence? Well, it disrupts families. Like, you can't really have a family unit that is stable if this kind of person is in it. They basically, chaotic surroundings, any kind of chaotic surroundings really helps nurture and feed this person. They can get it from media influence. If they were exposed to media, constant media, as a young child, then you know how things can happen. There's drama, there's anger, there's death, there's all kinds of bad stuff happening. If you don't know what I mean, just turn on the news. This is one of the reasons we have the anxiety level we have in our society. News media can actually create this very chaotic person that can't find calm, that's always on edge. So what is the impact if you're in a relationship with this kind of person, or if you have a chaos addiction and you're in a relationship? Well, there's going to be constant upheaval, as you can imagine. There's going to be big trust issues because they can never follow through. They jump from one drama to another. So they never really pause and reflect and say, okay, this part was mine, this part I couldn't have changed, but I could have reacted differently. They don't have that capacity. And they have impaired communication because remember, their filter is for chaos. What they run through their brain, no matter who tells them, is how can this help with the drama? Where's the drama in this? Because they have an addiction, a need to it. Many times you'll see people with a chaos addiction turn to substance abuse or things like gambling, shoplifting, retail therapy, these kinds of things. They'll get into credit card debt or all sorts of things to help them create the drama because they're creating more of it. So the addictions actually help fuel it, if you will. So what are the steps if you want to get out of this, to regain control or to start mending? Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you, if you have a chaos addiction, you need to see a mental health care provider because getting through this on your own is insurmountable. Like, you really need someone to hold you accountable to go through the steps of getting better. An AA program could help you because it will have the 12 steps, but you need a really responsible sponsor. You have to accept what you have, and you have to quit playing games with yourself, blaming others or explaining why. You need to accept it. You need to understand the root cause. Maybe you grew up with a chaotic family. Maybe you grew up with an alcoholic. Maybe you grew up with sexual abuse. All of those things are reasons, but you have to get to the root reason of why you reacted this way in order to turn it around. Seeking professional help, as I said, you cannot do this without a professional guidance counselor because it will be, you will fall off the tracks, and once again you'll create the drama so that you don't have to deal with the pain of the past that caused it. And consistent effort. When you have a therapist and you do fail, that therapist is going to say, okay, come on, we got to get up again, we got to get going. The therapist can then help plug you into support groups. There are support groups for this, self-help books, online forums. There's all kinds of help for chaos addictions and personal therapies. As I said, plan to stay with a therapist for 6 months to a year and walk with them so that they know where you're at and you can get a handle on this. You don't have to live like this. You can have a stable family. It's going to be hard. And there's going to be moments of roller coaster, but that's far more healthy than living a life where you are under control and influence of chaos addiction. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.